There you go. This is our 2 hour weekly get together. We bring you all the biggest news from around the world of hard rock, heavy metal, of course, the wide world of sports. And everybody, welcome to Thursday night, November the 20th in the year of our good Lord 2025. And boy, oh boy, it's a busy week for me. And I hope you guys have had a great week. And we're right on the precipice of Thanksgiving. That's right, one Thursday night away from Thanksgiving and the official start of Christmas, even though we've kicked it off here at Hard Rock and Sports next Thursday night. I will be right about now coming down from my food high to spend the day with my family at my mom and dad's house, and tons of food and Thanksgiving and football and everything else that goes with it. So looking forward to next Thursday night. Looking forward to doing the show for about an hour tonight. And it's been a busy week out here in the Florida land, and looking forward to talking a little bit about sports. I'm waiting for Jeff to pop up and talk a little football and everything else tonight. So we'll see where that all plays out. So hope you guys have had a great week. A couple of politics news while we're waiting for Jeff. A communist is heading to the White House tomorrow. That's right. Mayor-elect Mamdani is headed to see Donald Trump with a little bit of his tail between his legs. And we'll see how that plays out tomorrow. Great jobs report today. Economy, folks, whether you believe it or not, the economy is getting better. And after the first of the year, when the big, beautiful bill and all the tax breaks and all the stuff that goes with it kick in, next year is going to be a great year. You're going to have to be patient. You're going to have a little bit of a struggle. Gas prices down. Food prices aren't yet. You can still go there and spend a lot of money, especially beef. Buying beef and chicken and all that. It's still pretty expensive. But listen, if you expected this to be fixed after 4 years of knucklehead, you're sadly mistaken. So hopefully next year will be a much better year. Food prices, gas is way down. You're seeing gas in the 260s at this point, and I know nationwide that there's places where it's $2.25. So we'll see how much further they drop, but it's still better than almost $4 a gallon under Sleepy Joe. In the meantime, again, communist at the White House, and we'll see how that plays out. Jeffrey Epstein's files are all being released, which I think is a great thing and a really bad thing if you're a Democrat, because boy, oh boy, I can't wait to see some of these guys who have just been real quiet. You notice there's been a lot of quiet people about this, and those are the ones that need to be worried. And I guarantee you that there won't be anything salacious about the commander-in-chief himself. And that's what they tried to make this about. They thought for sure they wouldn't release this, and he blew them up. And yeah, Billy Graz, they wanted it, they're going to get it. And when you start seeing some of these big names that are going to pop up on the list of people who spent many, many times on the island and flying on the plane, and the pictures, and when they're not Republicans, how are we going to get out of that? Maybe Jasmine Crockett will do us a favor, and she'll come out and give us some more statements, because I got to tell you, if you're a Republican, the greatest advertisement for the Republican Party in 2026 and 2028 is Jasmine Crockett and AOC, two morons. Absolutely. There's no doubt in my mind. If there was any inkling of anything wrong for Trump, this would have been out in the last 4 years. And there's not. It's not. Trump's a lot of things. There's a story, and if you guys get a chance to go look at it, there was a guy played for the Yankees. His name was Mel. I can't think of his name. I'm drawing a blank on it. But he tortured Bernie Williams. Anyway, he had this for some reason, he had this very, very young girlfriend who later on he lived with. And the family, this is talking about a 20-something, 30-year-old man with like a 15, 16-year-old girl. And eventually he moved in, and he moved her at the Trump Tower. And Trump actually saved the woman. That's it, Mel Hall. There you go, Frankie. Thank you. So Mel Hall had this talk way into this family's life with this young girl, and then for whatever reason, they let him live with her, and then he moved her out. And eventually, Trump saved this woman, caught her walking down the street one day and asked her if she needed help. And he said, watch the documentary. It's fantastic. And I'm not telling you Trump's the greatest guy in the whole world. Believe me, it's far from it. Thank you, Michael Bafulco. But the one thing Trump's not is a sleazebag. And I will tell you that this, and maybe Billy Graz will back me up and some of the other guys, I think that this Epstein file coming out, there's going to be some names on here. Boy, oh boy. I think there's some stars. There's going to be some politicians who are going to be running for the hills. So I'm glad it's coming out, and I'm looking forward to seeing it. And you know what? If you're a Republican, Democrat, independent, musician, superstar, ball player, whatever, if you were part of that crowd, you deserve to go to jail, and you deserve to be thrown under the jail. And I hope every one of them gets that. So, but I see Jeff just he popped up. Now he's popped on. I was going to jump right in. But it should be an interesting couple of weeks. Yeah, I agree, Frankie. I'm a big Trump guy. You know that. But if I find out that he was over there and he was soliciting these young girls, he needs to get as much trouble as the rest of them. But I don't think it's there. Yeah, Hollywood's right, Billy Graz. Yeah, Billy, I couldn't agree with you more. You're going to see a lot of people. This is going to be worse than the Diddy stuff. This is going to be worse than a lot of those supposed scandals that never broke for anything. This one, I think, backfires. It's already starting to. Did anybody see Jasmine Crockett's her interview on CNN where she named Jeffrey Epstein and now she's trying to back off it? She's a moron. And I've heard people come out and say that she should run for Texas governor. Yeah.
Penalty.
She should run for Texas governor. She's a possibility for some sort of a presidential run. But at the end of the day, if Jasmine Crockett or AOC are the future of that party, they're in big trouble. When the Republicans are trotting out J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio, and even Kristi Noem for a short thing, and some of the other people out there, Tim Scott, who I love, I think there's a big problem when you put that up against the people that trotting out there. And don't forget there's all this mortgage fraud stuff still running around with Swalwell and Schiff and Letitia James. We'll see. This is the problem is that this old guard for the Dems or the regular Democratic Party is going to take a big beating, and the progressive left is going to sneak into that thing, and people have to make a decision, pretty soon, whether or not they're going to continue to vote that way. And I'm like, you're 100% right on that one. Yeah, I don't watch Charlemagne the God and all of that, but I do find him to be semi straight about a lot of topics. But him coming out and saying that Jasmine Crockett is a star and she should be the one doing the messaging. If you just listen to her talk for 3 minutes, how could anybody even say that? So I don't get it, and I never will. But if that's the future of the Democratic Party, I'll stay on the Republican side. Those years when I voted for Dems, yeah, you ain't kidding. I can't imagine ever voting that way ever again. I voted for Clinton. I voted for Gore. I voted against George Bush both times. Right now, you couldn't get me to vote for them for any reason. There's not one out there that I look up and say, that's a rational person who I would vote for. Gavin Newsom, come on, please. That might be the worst governor in the state. So anyway, Jeff's up. Let's get him on. Let's get to a little bit of music and sports tonight. We're doing about an hour, and we're going to cut it off there. But in the meantime, Jeff's gone again. So let me get my dad on, see what he's got to say, and we'll kick the show off that way. What's up, Pop?
What's up, Tommy? How you doing there?
Good, Pops. Just hanging in there.
Kind of jealous, man. In the warm weather.
It is 80 degrees down here.
Yeah.
Yes, it is 80.
Well, today wasn't bad. Today was 50, but it felt like it was in the 60s. There was no wind at all. So
okay.
Nice. So what's the good word?
No, everything's good. Just kicking back, relaxing. What'd you think of the Yankees? That so far, it looks like they signed Grisham signed this contract, and they're going after Bellinger now. They're trying to press Bellinger. What are you thinking so far?
Well, I think I think their infield is very shady.
Yep.
Their left field is
Well,
non-predictable.
I mean, look at it this way. I mean, I'm not a big fan of the kid at second base, Jazz Chisholm, but I would play Rice. I would play Chisholm. You'll wind up with Volpe at some point next year. They're still going to go with Volpe. The question is going to be who's going to play third. I don't know the status. I'm pretty sure the kid they traded for is coming back. He's got a great glove. And, yeah, I think the question is going to be left field and center field. And, the pitcher staff should be pretty good if Cole's back. Between Cole and Fried, Rodon, and the kid, the young kid that came up late in the year, it's a pretty good. That's as pretty good of pitching staff as you may see.
Well, Volpe's the one that scares me. He
Yeah,
made a big mistake the first year he came up. He had 30 some home runs.
well, yeah, that's a problem. Well, the problem is they preach that stuff, and that's the problem is that they should not preach to this kid to swing up. That his swing should level out, hit the other way, try to hit 250 and play good defense. And he'd be the Yankee shortstop for 15 years.
He seems like he gets lost.
Yes.
On the infield, you don't know what to do.
Yep.
It's just I don't understand. Like you say, if you look at his swing, he's uppercutting everything. He's going for the second deck.
Yes, I agree. I agree.
I think he's 20 year. If he played defense, good, but that's
what happened last year. I mean, 2 years ago he won the Gold Glove, and you said, I don't care what he hits, play Gold Glove defense, and whatever you get in that lineup is great. The problem is the year before last he stepped back, and then last year he was terrible all the way around. He couldn't play. He had 19 errors last year. He couldn't hit. So
terrible. Other than that, let's see what happens. I think we need a permanent third baseman.
Yep.
Yeah, and again.
Well, I like the kid they traded for last year. Kid that I thought he's got a great glove and he can hit. He just didn't hit consistently enough last year, but I like his glove. I don't know what his contract status. I got to look that up.
If you go back and go back years when they had little dynasties, whether it was Baltimore, Oakland, and most of them had two-thirds of their fielders were good hitters.
Yeah.
You had a couple, Mark Belanger.
Yeah.
And, everybody wants to, today, they don't want you to pull the ball. They don't want you to advance to run or over. They'd rather you strike out than hit a home.
Absolutely. They will trade multiple strikeouts. Yes, Goldschmidt. Goldschmidt played first, and I don't think he'll be back. I would give the job to Rice. I think Rice is good enough at first, and he's got a good stick. And then you can bring in a backup catcher, and Rice gives you a little versatility. I don't know if I bring Goldschmidt back. He had a good start to the year. He kind of faded, and I think the money's too much.
Terrible. That Jeff?
Yeah. I know he still seems to be frozen.
Yeah.
He's having a rough night.
I know you all are.
But otherwise everything's good, Pops. Everything's good down here. We'll be back on Sunday, and we'll see you then.
I'll see you then Monday, Tommy.
You got it, Pops. I'll see you on Sunday. It's my dad. Checks in every week. And Jeff's, I think he's on freezing. You there, Jeff? Jeff? Gone again. All right, we'll give him a shot. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have had a great week. What's everybody doing for Thanksgiving? Got big plans? Is everybody still celebrating the big holiday? Let's see. I'm looking forward to Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving's still top two. All right, Christmas Eve is still my favorite holiday. but Thanksgiving's right behind it. I like Thanksgiving because there's no muss and fuss with the presents and, the food. It's a little less stressful. Nice. Yeah, that's still the way, we still have 15 or 20 of us at my mom's house. One of my sons come, my aunt and her family. But yeah, to me, it's still about. Hold on a second. Let me just send some documents. Hold on. Okay, send someone in. Let's see if Jeff's up and officially on. What's up, Jeff? Have a Jeff. 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 He's frozen. Doesn't seem to be. But yeah, no, I definitely think, Christmas is still Christmas Eve, and it's dead because once Christmas Eve's over, I feel like the holiday's over, even though it's another week of Christmas Day and of course the New Year's and all of that. But to me, it kind of ends on Christmas Eve. Everything's built up to that. Jeff, you there? Jeff. 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 Have I? Jeff. 2025 with this guy. Which guy is that, Frankie? Frankie, what's your thoughts on Frank? What's your question? What's your thoughts on the Mets and Alonso and their moves in the offseason? What's the big move? Do you have to sign Alonso no matter what he wants? I heard it's a 7-year deal. As a Met fan, are you looking for Alonso back for 7 years? Would you? I know you probably prefer it to be less, but if it comes down to 6 or 7 years, are you okay signing him for that long? Yes, Jeff's. It's not his internet; it's his computer. I might have to break down and buy him a new computer because this is every. Yeah, I agree with you, Frankie. I think that's your biggest problem. Although, there was a lot of. It's one or the other for you guys with your batting, but yeah, I think the big problem last year was the pitching. Guys like Senga and Montas and all those guys kind of So yeah, I agree. But if it comes down to it, let me let you play GM, Frankie. Alonso's agent Boris calls up and says the Giants are offering 7 years, $320. Are you making the deal? Are you?
Health plan with extra benefits. People with Medicare.
Jeff, are you there, Jeff?
Medicaid. It's health plans. BNS Health.
Jeff.
Can you hear me? Can you?
Jeff. FA.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you, yes. What's up, Jeff?
What's up?
How are you, my man? I don't think I'm frozen.
Can you
Frank,
hear
am
me?
I frozen? Yeah, I can hear you. Now I can. Jeff.
Okay, well, I guess I made it.
Yep, it looks like you
Yeah,
finally
can you hear
clicked
me?
on. Yeah, I can hear you, yes.
Yeah. All right, well, let's see what happens.
All right, so Jeff, let's kick off the show like we're going to do about 40, 50 minutes from this point. Jeff, how was your week?
Long week.
Any
Sucked.
any certain
what it is.
reason? Is it the usual work complaints?
No, not this week because I was only there for 3 days.
Oh, you're having some
What's up
mechanical
there,
issues
Frank
at the
Kelly?
house, correct?
Yeah, we had some electrical issues that we had to get taken care of.
In the
But,
old days, I would
it's
have
looking
told you to
good.
call my pops. My pops could have came out and helped you out, but I'm not
Nah,
sure I'm letting
that's
dad.
all right.
I'm not sure I'm letting dad into your house at this point.
I don't know if I want him playing with electric at this, especially at my house. You know,
Oh boy! All right,
you know,
so
he's older and he's doing his thing. I understand that, but
Dad
Yeah.
in his prime was a great electrician, just fantastic. I've seen him do some wonders, but sometimes things just move. You have to move on from it. But I'm glad. Is all your issues resolved, or are you still dealing with them?
I can't hear you. What was that?
I said, are all your issues resolved, or are you still dealing with them?
I hope so. They look good right now. I don't know exactly what happened. They disconnected a fan that I had in the bathroom, and
Okay.
everything looks okay. I don't know if that was the problem or there was a bad bulb. It's a long story, but
Understood.
we got other things to worry about.
When is the tree going up?
I don't know. I don't know what we're gonna do yet. I
Really?
might get 2 real trees. I don't know.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I don't know if it's gonna be up for Thanksgiving. I will at least have lights that in the windows up by that time.
Right.
But it's probably gonna be yes, it was your cousin, Frank. He's my cousin now too. So and I may push for 2 real trees to see where I just don't feel like sitting there fucking with an artificial tree, man.
I don't blame you. I feel the same way. I've gone to the real tree the last few years, so I'm with you on that one.
If we do 2 trees, you know that. And
Yes,
I
I know
just
you
gotta
do.
see. No, he didn't fuck up, Frank. No, he's good. He's good. He's a good guy, man. He's a very good guy. I trust him 100%. Just when circuit blew. Long story short, when we were away at the wedding, Sharon's son watched the house and the dog, and he put something on that he didn't realize that we don't use, and it popped the circuit.
Oh,
So
really?
being the circuit popped a couple days later. No, none of that, Frank. Leave him alone. Leave him alone. A couple days later, I went and used the same light in the bathroom,
Right.
put the light on, and it popped. So
Oh.
I went downstairs and the circuit blew. So I was like, you know what? I says, there must be something wrong with the circuit. Let me have him come in and see what's going on with the circuit. So that's what I did. And as he came in, he said that he didn't find anything troublesome or everything seemed okay. So I'm like, okay, so let's see what happens. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to leave it as is for now. And right now, everything is good. And that's that.
Gotcha. All right. Listen, hopefully it works out. Hopefully everything stays on. The holidays are here. Big Thanksgiving a week away.
Listen, if something happens, I'll just run the fucking run the generator
There
for
you
the
go.
lights.
Look at this. Look at this.
I don't think that was it, but we don't know. But right now the fan is disconnected, and everything seems to be okay. So,
all right. Well, let's hope for the best.
that's all that
And,
matters.
we can't have electrical problems right around the holidays, Jeff. We can't have it.
No, not when I'm about to add some amperage to the daily draw.
Yes, and keep in mind, folks, we will be off next Thursday night for the Thanksgiving holiday, which I am looking forward to immensely. Not the day off, but the Thanksgiving holiday I truly enjoy. So I'm looking forward to it. But, Jeff, let's get to a quick show tonight. I wanted to do a little bit tonight. And the big thing that's been on my mind as a Giant fan this week, is the poor choice by one Cam Scatterbo, who I am a big fan of.
And you have every right to be a big fan of him. He's a young and exciting back, and I'm reading a lot of different articles about this. And
right, what's your take?
Not many people
What's your take on it?
think it was a stupid move.
I agree with you, but why do you think it was a stupid move?
Well, for obvious reasons, he just got his ankle operated on or his leg operated on. One miscalculation, no matter how much they were propping him up and helping him out, and how much they were being, careful with him, anything could have happened, and that could be the end of his career.
Yeah, I mean, it's only 3 weeks or a month ago his foot was in the wrong direction, and to everybody's point, there's a crowd there. All you need is one slip up, and you either forget about the fact that your season's over and you're maybe just jeopardize next year. Your career could be over. I thought it was stupid and just dumb as a young back. And I think I'm hoping that the Giant veterans, if there is one that stepped up and said, "What are you doing?" And I think that's the biggest thing nowadays is there isn't that veteran group in football that can rein these kids in. But yeah, I thought it was stupid, reckless, and just not a smart idea for a guy who just had his foot going in the wrong direction.
He felt as though, I read a couple things, and there was a lot of people within the Giant organization that felt as though that whatever he did was okay. Cam is nuts and this, that, and the other thing. And there was somebody else, a coach of some kind on the team, didn't have a real problem. Well, I think it was the interim coach, didn't have a problem with what he did. And I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. This guy, it's gotta wake up.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? You gotta wake up. If it was the off season and the whether they made the playoffs or not, it's the off season. And wrestling came through New York, and these guys went for a wrestling show. Okay, so he was there, no big deal, no harm, no foul. If it was because of the operation,
that's the reason I have a problem. I don't even know if I have a problem that Abdul Carter was there. Now, listen, I'm not one of those things. Oh, you're losing, your team's bad, you should sit in your house and sulk. I don't have a major problem that Giants were there and involved. I think it's great for the community. I think it's great for the vision of the team. A little promotion. My problem is with Cam Scatterbo with having an ankle that's barely holding on with gum at this point, gum and tacks, that he's out there allowing himself to be shoved around. I don't have a problem that Abdul Carter's there. Do you have a problem with that? A couple of football players went to a wrestling match and got involved. Forget about the Scatterbo injury. As a wrestling fan and a football fan, would you have a problem if both those guys were just young, healthy guys at a wrestling match?
No, not at all. Not at all. I don't give a shit what Abdul Carter did. His ankle wasn't stapled back on.
Right.
But Cam Scatterbo's was. And Cam Scatterbo, say what you want. What's up, Will? Is a running back who relies on his knees and his ankles to make certain cuts and certain moves during a football game. And, that's not a smart move at all. Not a smart move. Let's put it this way. You've been to many concerts, sporting events, whatever else it is that you guys out there in Jersey do, God only knows. Okay. When you go to these arenas, and what's the first thing that happens? The floor is nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's either slippery or sticky. Yeah.
Yep. The guy 5 rows behind you spills his beer. It's making its way all the way down to where you are.
Absolutely.
Yep. Exactly there, Cam. That exactly. And you got to watch because anything could happen. You could have kept your area clear, but the guy behind you, he's getting nervous. He grabs you, he pushes you, whatever the case is, and you just twist it the wrong way. How stable could that ankle be?
To me at this point, I think one of the few times I'm going to go with optics and say, while everything may be fine, it's a fine line. At this team, there's a lot of excitement about the future of the Giants with players like Scatterbo and Abdul Carter and Jackson Dart, and it's almost to the point where you'd say they're reckless. I mean, Dart, which I'll get to a little bit, and his play on the field, which I love the fact that he plays that way. But you've seen it now twice where he's gotten a concussion and missed a game. A couple of weeks ago against the Eagles, they thought he might have had a concussion because of the way he plays. And Scotty, you got an ankle that has been duct taped on. You kind of have to read the room a little bit and kind of say the future's bright, and I'm going to concentrate on that and not put yourself in that position.
Yeah, I hear you. And Frank, is that the faction that they were arguing with Judgment Day? Is that what you're calling them, or was that the name of the event?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that either. And Ken, I agree with you. I've been thinking about that a lot this week. And back in the day, the young kids, the rookies, the new players on the team, there was a veteran presence. Guys, I'll go back to the 80s with guys like Harry Carson and George Martin and Phil Simms. Even into the 90s with Jesse Armstead and Keith Hamilton. Some of those veteran guys who, when you came in the locker room, there's a certain way you do things. And I think, Jeff, in sports in general, like I look at the Yankees and I say, who's that veteran guy who holds somebody accountable for not running hard? Or who's that guy in the Giants who goes up to Scotty and tells him, wake the fuck up? Like, those guys are missing now.
Yeah, of course they're missing. And that brings me back to Cam's leadership comment about Giants leadership. You're right. The Giants do have poor leadership, but it's not that they have poor leadership. Their leadership hasn't developed yet.
Yes.
Because that's what keeps a team in the position that the Giants are in. Right now, until somebody steps up to the plate and says, listen, you want to have fun, do it healthy. Don't do it when you're healing.
But I think that's in sports in general now. I think in sports in general, I think that it's almost like, when we went to school or when you hung out in there, there was a hierarchy, like there was, like when we were kids, there were guys like, I'll use Mike Pepe. When Mike Pepe walked in onto the street, you kind of took a step back because he was the veteran guy. He's the older kid in the neighborhood, and you kind of followed, his thing to a certain extent.
He was bigger than us. He could kick the shit out of us.
Right. And sports was always that guy. Today, I think in most leagues, most teams, there are very few teams where there's a veteran presence that kind of says, this is how we do it. This is how you're going to do it. And keeps guys in like Scatterbo and Jackson Dart in line. I think that's missing from sports now.
Well, listen, first of all, I'm assuming that you're talking about Jackson Dart and
Yes.
his running the ball and everything
Yes.
else. Okay. He's providing a spark. And
Yes.
as much as I don't like the idea of a quarterback running to gain yards all the time and just be a focal point of the offense,
Yep.
He's doing what he can. He's trying to establish himself in the NFL. He's trying to show that he's not going to get pushed around, that he's going to take the chance. I'm the wild card when I have the ball, kind of stuff. So that's okay. And anybody at any given time in the NFL could get a concussion. We know that. We've seen it happen hundreds of times. But my thing, what you're saying about, I think it proves something else, which is that everybody is a money player. There is no leadership. There is no way contending for a championship. I'm contending to make $40 million a year because that's what I got. I'm getting paid. You don't want to know something? I'm getting my money regardless of whatever happens to him.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
I agree with that. And I think
that's the problem.
I agree with you. I think I'll give you, for instance, when Abdul Carter showed up at Giants camp and said, hey, I want to wear number 56. Somebody there should have smacked him in the back of the head and said, are you kidding me? This is the New York Giants. You don't get to wear 56. You're lucky you don't get to wear 6.
Yeah. Well, listen, you can't tell me if he didn't know who Lawrence Taylor was, and if he didn't realize that Lawrence Taylor wore 56, then you know what? Just fucking cut this guy now. Because if he doesn't know you're going to an organization with a storied past. Okay. If I was a player, football player, okay, and I was getting drafted by the Carolina Panthers that have no history, or the Jacksonville Jaguars, or the Houston Texans, even teams like the Los Angeles Chargers that don't really have the history that some teams got.
Agreed.
That's one thing. But if you're going to the fucking Giants, the Redskins, the Cowboys,
Cowboys.
the Steelers,
Yep.
the
Raiders.
the Raiders, whoever, even the Broncos to an extent. Okay, teams that have a history,
Yep.
teams that have several Hall of Fame players. You know what you do? You immerse yourself. You read about your team. You need to know where you stand and what you're doing.
Very good point.
And you need to learn, because if you don't know you're a defensive player and you don't know who Lawrence Taylor is and what number he wore, then I really, really don't know if you're going to be the right player.
And to be honest with you, even if you do know and you have the balls to walk in and say, I want to wear his 56, at some point, someone's going to slap you in the back of the head. And you're right, Frank. He hasn't played terrible. For the most part, he puts a lot of pass rush on. He puts a lot of pressure. He's played okay. He doesn't dog it out there. He just hasn't had any results. I'm okay with it. I don't think he hasn't obviously established himself as a great player. I think there's some ability there, but I would like to see a little bit of, hey, let's take over a game and win one. So, his numbers okay with the pressure, but he's got to get to sacks. But this isn't the pick on Abdul Carter.
There's a lot of things that have to happen.
Yes.
Okay. There's a lot of players in the NFL right now, to me, that are on the cusp of being like their busts. Sure. And a lot of them are looked upon as present day, important cogs, important pieces of their team.
Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, two guys right off the top of my head.
Justin Herbert, he's proven himself a couple times. Trevor Lawrence is not. Okay. I'll tell you who I think I would label a bust right now, that kid Gentry.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. First year. Okay.
Yeah, okay. First year. It's like, what is he doing? Travis Hunter had to be a two-way player. Okay, now he's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, and now you lose two players. You don't lose one player. You lose two players.
Yeah, and he didn't shine on either side of the ball.
No, I agree. To me, he should come back and play.
He got hurt. Frank, he got hurt, but he took out two positions in getting hurt. One man getting hurt took out two positions, and 100%. He'd only played a number of positions, snaps on defense, and he did nothing on offense.
Yeah, I got to be honest. I don't think that anybody at this point is good enough to play both ways.
Well, Gentry got hurt. Wouldn't he just play?
I thought he just. I didn't see him get hurt. Frankie may be 100% right. I just don't think that anybody's coming to the NFL and going to play a meaningful full season as a two-way player, especially in those positions. I mean, I don't know what positions you think I think could play. I mean, maybe you could play tight end, playing on passing downs, and then play corner or safety or linebacker, maybe, or I don't know. But to think you're going to play full-time corner and full-time receiver, or three-quarter position as a receiver, I think it's a dumb idea, and it's really looks more like a stunt than it is than actual.
Gentry, just for the record, has played 10 games, 149 carries, 554 yards, an average of 3.7. He's averaging 55.4 yards a game. He lost one fumble. Not exactly numbers that'll lighten up the league for somebody that came in with the promise that he was coming in with.
I would agree. I mean, I would a little ways from a bust yet. I think the Trevor Lawrence one.
The reason I call him a bust is because he's a running back, and running backs, they seem to give up on running backs quite easily.
Yeah,
and, right. If he's not producing, and you're a running back, you're a bust.
Yeah, I agree with you. No, I agree. You as a running back, you need to hit the ground running in your rookie season, and at least
what he looked like.
Yes, agreed.
That kid, my God, he looked like an Adonis.
Yep, it's interesting, but I think it's a little. But speaking of the NFL, the Chiefs look like they may be busts this year. What's your take on the Kansas City Chiefs at this point being 5-5? Definitely on the outside looking in playoff wise.
Well, right now, yes. But you want to know something? Until they turn around and say that they've been eliminated from the playoffs one way or another, whether it's before the playoffs start or in the first, second, third Super Bowl and they're eliminated, I would not discount them just yet, because while they still have breath, they're still a dangerous team. It's Patrick Mahomes, a guy who thrives in the postseason and has been there so many times. He knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I wouldn't take anything away from him until it's gone, until it's taken away. They still have a chance. Listen, if they still say that Lamar Jackson and the Ravens have a chance, you got to give it to Patrick Mahomes.
Well, let's put it this way. So right now the Chiefs are 5-5. So are the Ravens. The Chiefs, if they lose this week, have a 30% chance of making the playoffs. Currently, they're at 46% chance to make the playoffs. If they win, they're up to 57. But the Ravens, if they lose, still have a 56% chance of making the playoffs, while they're currently at 72%. And if they win, they make it 75. Now, do you want to know the Chiefs' schedule the rest of the way?
Yeah, sure. By the way, before you go any further,
sure.
I just think that the reason that the Ravens have a better schedule is because of playing in the AFC North, which does not really seem to have a clear-cut leader in that division. So, it does come down between them and Pittsburgh, and now Aaron Rodgers has got wrist problems. So
I would tell you. That to me that looks like. I'm going to get to him. Let's get to that. Let me give you the Chiefs' remaining schedule, and then you can kind of see how you think they're going to wind up. Let's see. Give me a second. I don't want printable schedule. Let me just see this schedule.
Now, I believe they're 3 games behind Denver.
Yeah. I think Denver's 8-2 at this point.
Yeah.
All right. So, Chiefs. Okay, so they just lost to the Broncos. Okay, so this week they get the Indianapolis Colts at home. That's a tough game. Shouldn't
Denver's 9-2.
Yes, Denver's 9-2. Sorry,
Jeez,
yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So this week, Kansas City's 3.5 games behind.
They're 5.
That's a lot. They're not going to make up for the division, I would think.
They're still hanging on the border of I think this point you got to figure they're looking for a wild card spot and probably no home playoff games. So this week they get the Indianapolis, and they come back Thursday with a 3:30 game on Thanksgiving at Dallas. So that's 2 tough games in a row. Although I'm not a big Cowboy guy.
You know what? That's an important game to watch, because one of those 2 teams is going to come out and definitely in a better position than they went in.
Absolutely.
And whoever loses is going to have to really put their nose to the grindstone and start playing.
All right, so let's give them a win. Let's say they're going to be geared up for a home game against Indianapolis, and they get a win here. So they're 6-5. They go to Dallas on Thursday. Jeff, do they win at Dallas on Thursday?
I think so. I think they'll win in Dallas.
Now they're 7-5. They come home 10 days later, and they play Houston at home.
I think that could be 3 in a row for them.
Okay. Then they're at home again against the Chargers.
I'm going to say that's a loss.
All right, so they're now 9-6. Week 16, they go to Tennessee.
I think that's pretty much in the bag.
Okay, so 10-6, and
I think me and you and 9 friends could go there.
Here's a big game. They're at home to the Denver Broncos.
I think at that point in time, I think Denver may be resting some people. I mean, at the position right now, why would you keep some of those guys in there? I wouldn't.
I'll tell you why. One, I'm not a big fan of the sit downs, but if you're Denver, what you don't want to see is Kansas City in the playoffs because of the mystique of Mahomes and Reed and the things that they've accomplished.
I agree, but you know what? You also can't. Let's just say that Kansas City Denver by that time is 13-4 or better, 14-3, 15-2 or whatever, 14-2. Are you really going to risk playing some of your better players for the whole game guys are getting hurt standing there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know about that one.
Good
I hear
question.
what you're saying, but if you're going into the playoffs and you need to keep that guy fresh, you may keep your quarterback out or your receivers out. Tom, you know what time it is, don't you?
Yes. I know what time.
There you go. I'll be right back.
Go ahead. So I just don't know if 10-7. Let me get the schedule. Let me get the sticks up here again. I don't know if 10-7 is going to be enough for them to make the playoffs. Let's see who's ahead of them right now. Hold on a second, folks. So let's say New England hangs on, wins the division. Buffalo's at 7-3. So there's one spot. Pittsburgh gets in. They got the Ravens. Jacksonville at 6-4. I don't buy. The Chargers are 7-4. There's 2 playoff spots. So there is one playoff spot for the Chiefs, Jacksonville, and the Ravens. That's a tough hill to climb if you're the Chiefs, who are not playing well. Yeah, well, Frank, is Daniel Jones hurt? I didn't realize that. Okay. I mean, listen, because of the quarterback and the coach, I think that's the case. I don't feel the same way. I don't think this version of the Chiefs is the same, obviously. So no, I don't buy the Vegas thing. I think this was right now the way it's going to look. They're fighting for one spot. So right now, Jeff, if you're right and it ends 10-7, you got your division winners. They're not winning the division. So Buffalo looks like a lock, and so does the Chargers for 2 of the 3 wild cards.
Okay.
That leaves one wild card spot for Jacksonville, Baltimore, and the Chiefs.
Right now, I would go with the Chiefs over all of them.
Very possible. So but they got a hill to climb. Right now, but I think Jacksonville's 6-4 and Baltimore's 5-5. I don't know. So it's a fight with those 3 teams to get the last playoff spot. But I can't imagine this version of the Chiefs, who look old at this point. I mean, Travis Kelce should be probably doing security at a Taylor Swift concert at this point.
Oh God, please.
So I would say I wouldn't bet against them making the playoffs. I just don't have any faith in them making a run. I think it's an interesting AFC this year with them kind of out of it, and so is Baltimore. Not that Baltimore can't make the playoffs, but even that version of Baltimore is not very good. I mean, who do you like? Do you believe in New England? Is this Buffalo's year?
Well, listen, New England right now is what, 9-2.
Yeah.
It's hard to discount them. You can't discount them at this point.
They're playing great football.
I'm not saying that they're going to get in there and win, but you can't discount them. They're a team that has to be reckoned with. There's certain teams right now that are in the playoffs as division winners, as you know. And some of these teams, until they're knocked out, they have to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
Right now, you got New England. It's 9-2. That's a team to me that needs to be reckoned with. Buffalo right behind them, 7-3. Although they're a quiet 7-3, and the rest of that division is shot. But when you go over to the AFC North, I'm looking at it now. Pittsburgh is 6-4. Baltimore's 5-5. Yeah. They've quietly pulled up, and could take over. When you look at the AFC South, you got Indianapolis at 8-2. Jacksonville's 2 games behind. I don't know. And then you got Denver at 9-2, the Chargers 7-4, and then Kansas City 5-5. I think that Kansas City should set their sights more on the Chargers than the Denver Broncos, because once you get into the playoffs, it is what it is. But Denver, I got to be honest with you, I'm not too worried about Denver right now. Denver, this is new ground for Denver. Yes, they made the playoffs last year, but if you're in the playoffs, who are you going to be more afraid of, Denver or Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes?
Well, right now, I mean, it could be them. I mean, think about it right now. You look at I mean, New England at 9-2, Indy at 8-2, and Broncos at 9-2. I mean, that's an interesting. Who's the team you're worried about? And this is all brand new ground for basically those three teams. So this isn't. You got to go to New England and face Tom Brady in January, or you got to go to Kansas City in January. This is New England with Drake May. This is Indianapolis with Daniel Jones. This is Denver with Bo Nix, and their offense has not looked great this year.
Well, listen, both Indianapolis and Denver are both 6-0 at home.
Yep.
Okay, but Indianapolis is 2-2 on the road. Denver's 3-2 away from Mile High, and then you got Kansas City. They're 4-1 at home, 1-4 on the road. So anything is possible. Anything is possible once you get into the playoffs. You just got to see. I think that the NFC has even more of a muddled picture.
Yeah, I'm here.
No, so I don't believe in Philly at 8-2.
No, I agree.
And I think that the wild cards may come out of the NFC North again. But this time you may have Chicago, Green Bay, and Detroit. But even Detroit's not the same team they were last year.
I think you're going to wind up with three teams out of the NFC West, with Frisco, Seattle, and the Rams. So that'll leave one wild card.
Probably
Probably
going to fall off one of those teams soon.
Yeah, I think the problem is I think either Green Bay or Detroit may be the team. And Detroit, Detroit's on the bubble. Detroit don't make the playoffs this year. While he's had some success, there's got to be a little bit of a hot seat over there for Dan Campbell.
If Detroit does not make the playoffs this year, okay, it's going to make the hiring of Aaron Glenn and the offensive coordinator going over to Chicago,
Ben Johnson,
look brilliant, and it's just going to be a matter of time until they get their teams together. Chicago is already taking a step in the right direction. They've won 3 in a row, but Detroit, I don't know, man. They're just they don't look like a strong team this year, man. They don't really do much for me. But the team to watch to me, San Francisco. This is a team that's been dealing with injuries from the beginning of the season. They don't even have Brandon Ayuk back either, do they?
I don't think so. And they're 7-4.
Yes, 7-4. And this is a team that, wow, they're hanging tough.
Yeah, I tell you the truth, Matt, our friend Matt has been all over the Rams all year. And I'm not sold on the Rams, I would tell you I think the Rams might be the best team in the conference right now. I'm not a big Philly guy. I think Philly's playing with a little bit of fire week to week. The rest of that division's shitty.
Matt Stafford has got 27 touchdown passes already.
How about the Bears? How about the Bears at 7-3?
Yeah, they've won 3 in a row. But you know what? That defense is giving up a lot of points. I'm looking at it now. They scored 58, and they've given up 264 points on the season so far.
Yeah.
So, they're winning some games. They're squeaking by. When your differential is, -6, they've given up more points than they scored, man. That's that's a lot. And
it's gonna be this last month and a half of football, getting toward the playoffs is going to be interesting, and it's going to, realistically, it's going to look a lot different than we were used to the last few years. I mean, there's some teams hanging in there. I mean, the Dolphins' schedule, is a lot lighter, and there's some thought that they may make a run here. Pittsburgh now may take a dive back with Aaron Rodgers being injured. And let me ask you something, Jeff. Regardless, is this it for him? I mean, you're watching him play. It looks like he's getting slower and slower. Do you think no matter what happens, this is it for him this year?
I don't know, Tom. I don't know. And the reason I say I don't know is because it's Aaron Rodgers and you don't know what he's going to do.
Yeah.
Is he on a team that may actually give him a chance to make the playoffs? Definitely, without a doubt. Is he on a team that has a chance to win the Super Bowl? I don't think so. But
I agree.
You don't know with this guy. He's already proved to be selfish many, many times already.
Yep.
And you just don't know what he's gonna which way he's gonna go.
Real quick, what's your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders getting a chance to start this week?
Well,
After a very bad, he was 4 of 16 for like no yards last week in the second half of that game. Publicity stunt. What do you think?
it's not. Well, it comes to Cleveland. It's not a publicity stunt. They got to see who they got, and they got to try him out at the very least because they've tried out everybody else and their mother.
Yeah.
So right now, to me, I'm not saying that this is somebody that has a chance to be a star in the league. Evidently, he does not.
Yeah.
Okay. But at this point in time, when they're going to get a high draft pick, and I believe they have 2 picks in the draft, I believe.
Yeah, I have to look at that. Yeah.
They have to try every option that they have now because going into the draft in 2026, they need to know who they got and what way they're going to possibly need to go. It's amazing that some of these organizations, the Jets, the Chicago Bears, the Cleveland Browns, and a few others, just cannot hit on a quarterback, man. Holy fucking shit. You know, and the Jets, who they have 5 first-round picks and God knows how many second-rounders, the news that and the stuff that I hear about them and what they may do for a quarterback makes me nervous as a Jet fan. Everything from Kyler Murray to Joe Burrow to whoever else is possibly available. Yeah. And it's like, please don't waste no number 1 picks on shit like that. Please.
I agree. Well, next year's draft is not the year to do it. And I think I threw it around Mac Jones, guys like that. I would go get a Mac Jones, somebody of that ilk, to play quarterback until you can find your quarterback. But what do you think about the Jets this week going to Tyrod Taylor and benching a guy that they're stuck with for 2 years? I mean,
one, they're not stuck with him because they could let him go. And then we'll just
let him go, but you're going to eat a lot of money.
They're eating almost $50 million for fucking what's his face right now, Aaron Rodgers, and he's not even on the team. So what's $10 million or $20 million in that case? It's nothing compared to that. I read something about it today, and I'm glad you brought this up because this made a lot of sense. This isn't so much as a try to win. This isn't so much as a what are we going to do now? What's going to happen? What can we do? This is to see what they have on this team and going forward.
Oh, I get
who's going to be part of next year.
So you're saying this is to upgrade the position, not to figure out the quarterback position, but to figure out who else around the quarterback can play with a decent quarterback.
The article that I read said that Justin Fields holds the ball too long. He checks down too many times.
Yes.
That Tyrod Taylor is willing to take a few more chances and maybe try to force it to make a better play or a bigger play. So it makes no sense of them trying to, see what Justin Fields could do when they know he's not the answer. Tyrod Taylor is 36. You know he's not going to be the answer.
No.
But if he can move the ball around, well, evidently anybody can move the ball around more so than
Well, you like to see what Mason Taylor has. You like to see what the offensive line can do, but with what they have and some of these younger receivers. So I agree. I don't think it's a dumb idea. I was just curious why they would do it, but what your reasoning makes a lot of sense.
It's all auditions, Tom. It's all auditions at this point.
And I think it's a smart move by the Jets. I mean, you're not getting anywhere with Justin Fields. He's terrible. For the 1 or 2 games he may have a decent game. The other 7, you just shake your head.
Yeah. It's just unbelievable, man. Unfucking believable.
Yeah, no, it is crazy. But in the end of the day, though, and again, nobody should have a conversation about Aaron Glenn or the GM not being back next year. But it does raise some red flags to me that their first big move was to rush and get him signed to a 2-year, big money or semi-big money deal. That raises red flags to me that they were all in on building around him for the next 2 years.
Well, you know what? I don't think that they took it as they were building around Justin Fields because they didn't get him a second receiver. And there was a lot of things that were not in place. But there was somebody that I think that they felt as though that they had to give him a shot.
All right.
Because he was on the cheap side.
Yeah.
2, they knew that they could get away from him relatively cheap
Right.
And he would have ended up costing him 30 million of the 40 million. And I know we're throwing the word million around and saying cheap, but for what some of these guys are getting,
Yeah. In football standards, yes, you're right.
you know,
Yeah.
it is a cheap experiment
Sure.
that did not pan out. But I also think that they knew this was not a team that anybody was going to be worried about, man. That was clear.
Yeah.
And listen, when you traded Sauce Gardner and Quentin Williams, you're telling everybody we're rebuilding now.
Oh no, there's no doubt. And Frankie's right. I think they have over $90 million in cap space next year. They have a bunch of draft picks, so they have the ability to fix this pretty quick. I mean, theoretically, they should be better next year, and 2 years from now, they should be a viable team in that league.
Do they have the ability to fix this quick, man?
Well, when I say the ability, I mean you have the means. You have cap money and you have draft picks. Do you use it wisely? That's a different story. You're right.
Okay, so then there you go. That's the big thing. Are you going to
You
use
have the ability. I don't know if you can. That's a
general managers? The last couple general managers have proven that they're not big spenders.
Yep.
Okay. Joe Douglas was always looking for the bargain when he had the money. He was still looking for the bargain. If they use some of these draft picks to get themselves a quarterback next year, and it's not through the draft, they better go all out and try to get Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes at that point in time than anybody. You know what I mean? Before they throw three picks at fucking Joe Burrow or something. I don't want.
I would just like to see them. I would like to see them not waste. Like whoever they draft early next year, it's got to be a guaranteed game-changing player, whether it's a tackle or a receiver or a corner, somebody who's going to come in and change the way they're played. And I don't want to see them take a chance on a quarterback who may be a project, or a wide receiver who has nobody to throw him the ball. Like it has to be somebody who makes a difference, and that's the way I see it. But
I totally agree. And listen, they've been linked to Mendoza from Indiana.
Yep.
And they've been linked to the kid from Oregon State.
Yep.
So right now, those two, I could work with that. They were also connected to the kid in Penn State. He wrecked his knee.
Yep.
Lenoris Snellers, who I really haven't heard much of him. The kid from Alabama. There's been a couple, but college football season's almost over.
Yes.
Pretty much essentially over. What do they got? A couple games, 2 games left, 3 games?
They got probably 2 games for the end of the thing, and then obviously the playoffs. So some teams could have 3 or 4 games left. Most teams probably have 1 or 2 games left.
Yeah, it's anything could happen at that point in time, but you got to be careful what you do, and you cannot waste these picks.
I agree.
First of all, a lot of people they're saying, well, the Jets are picking 5th this time around, then they can't really lose out on something. The season's not over yet. The season's far from over yet. Let this team go out and play and lose before we start making mock drafts and saying, well, we could pick this guy up or pick that guy up.
No, I agree.
Don't pick up a guy like Kyler Murray so that you could replace Kyler Murray. You could replace Justin Fields with Kyler Murray. It's basically the same kind of player, no?
I agree with you. Listen, I don't like any of these kids coming out in the draft next year at quarterback as being immediate game changers. I think 2 years from now, there are a better group of quarterbacks coming out. If you can get one of these guys late in the first, early second round, I would be more apt to do that. But if you're picking in the top 10, if you're the Jets, you need to come out of there with an absolute stud. Receiver, corner, defensive lineman. I mean, you got to replace Williams now. You got to, you need to replace Sauce Gardner now. And there's so many holes on that team now.
That's the thing too. Okay, you're not
You need
taking
another receiver.
You're not taking this number 1 pick and making 5 separate picks in the first round.
Nope.
Okay. If anything, maybe what they should try to do is you got 2 picks next round or 3 picks next round. Try to trade those and get back into the first round of this year and try to get 3 or 4 picks out of the first round.
I would agree with you.
And try to do it that way. But, as far as getting a receiver, okay, you need a receiver. But if, like you said, if there's nobody to throw him the ball, what's the point of getting a receiver? You traded a cornerback away. Are you going to waste a first round pick on a cornerback?
What's up, Louis Pica? Yeah,
You already have one.
I don't know, Jeff. You know what? Like I said, if I'm the Jets, I just think, yeah, that's another good point. They could lose Breece Hall in this next off. Although I think by not trading him, I think
You showed Breece Hall a lot by not trading him.
Yeah, I think they're going to build around Breece Hall. Will they give him the big money he wants? I don't know. I don't know if anybody will.
I haven't heard any of his contract demands.
Yeah, me either. So I don't know. I don't think he's going to be getting a huge contract. So I think if you're the Jets, you throw a little bit of extra money at him and you build around it. But although I thought they would do that this year, and they did not kind of build around it, they tried to throw the ball way too much. So to me, I think not trading him or trying to trade him said a lot. And I think he'll be back. And I think they'll. Yeah, I guess they can't franchise him, but I wouldn't because it's so much money.
Why couldn't they franchise him?
I don't know, but I did hear somebody say that they can't franchise him for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's in his contract that way. I don't know the answer.
Well,
anyway,
unless there's a special reason why they cannot franchise him.
Yeah,
you're right. It would be financial suicide to franchise him because it's going to cost a lot.
Yeah.
And Frank Catalano, I hope he goes and joins the Peace Corps before he ever goes to Denver.
Oh boy, yeah. Again, right now they have a lot of money. They can overpay him a little bit if they wanted to keep him. I think he's a good back. I think he's a really good back. He does a lot of stuff.
I think he's a team first back.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I think he's a good player. And if I'm Aaron Glenn, I am trying to remodel this team like the Lions were built, and that's building the offensive lineup, getting a solid quarterback. You don't need, Jared Goff was on the scrap heap when they got him, and to get him, you get yourself a good group of receivers. You got one. Get yourself a couple of good receivers. I like this kid Mason Taylor. Fix the offensive line and build this thing kind of like they built it in Detroit. I think the Jets have the ability, and when I say that again, not necessarily picking the right players, just having the salary cap and the draft picks to kind of build this team. We'll see if they actually do it. It's going to be interesting. Season's not over, but it's over.
That Mason Taylor was some fucking dillweed in the fucking in the what do you call it, fantasy league? Fucking, I dropped them, ran and fucking swiped them up like I know, garbage picking, man.
Hey, I picked up Sean, the kid from Tampa this week, got me 43 points.
Jesus Christ. You know who I just picked up? I was like, fuck everybody. I went and took Kirk Cousins.
Did you really?
Yeah. I went and grabbed Kirk Cousins. You know why? Because I don't want you to have him. I don't want Frank to have him. I don't want anybody else to have him. So what I did is I took him and buried him on the bench. He's going to sit next to Lamar. Fuck everybody.
Believe me, I sat two guys this week that I could have played, should have played, thinking I was outsmarting myself, and it cost me a W. So I got no right to say anything to anybody. But it is.
No, this year, I don't know what do you like? Fucking 2 and 400, man.
Something like that. Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'm in 5th place right now. But I think I'm out of it, man.
Well,
It's Catalano. Who are your quarterbacks?
It's very top heavy right now with Iggy Mo's team and Matt's team. Very top heavy right now.
Matt has slipped. He's not as high up. I think he's in 3rd or 4th place. I know that Frank Catalano is up there. I know that
Frankie Pat's got a great team. Yep, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting finish.
Joe Fro.
Joe Fro, yeah, surprised Joe Fro jumped right in the league and has done a really good job. So some other teams, like I said, you're creeping around the outside. A couple of good weeks and you're right back in it. So we'll see what happens.
I am what I am, a 500 team.
Well, that's how I feel. But I'm going.
You are not a 500 team. You may feel like a 500 team.
Yeah.
But you were like a
500 at the bottom. Yeah. I think we're going to end it here. I got some stuff to do, but I did want to get on and do a little chat, and we're off next week. So I wanted to do a little show tonight, but I got a couple things to finish up, and I'm a bit tired. I was up late last night and up early this morning, putting furniture together, and it's been a rough couple weeks.
Frank, I may make the playoffs, but I just have no confidence in this team, man. There's nobody on my team that I'm like, they're going to go out there and play and get me a million points every week. Usually whoever I sit is the one that's scoring the points.
Let's see what it looks like. Hold on a second. I want to bring the standings up. I don't have a double screen. So right now with Iggy Mo, Joe Fro, Frankie Catman at 8, all at 8-3. And then Matt, Jeff at 6-5. And then it's Bees Knees, DC Rippers.
Matt is 6-5?
Matt 7-4. You're 6-5. Bees Knees at 5-6. DC Rippers at 5-6. And Frankie's Bo Brown and Bijan at 5-6. After that, it's a sharp decline to 4-7, 4-7, 4-7, and my 2-9. So
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, it's
injuries butt fucked you, man.
Joe Burrow, Malik Neighbors, Garrett Wilson, Chris Godwin. I've had more injuries this year, taking my lumps. But
who didn't get hurt on your team?
It's very true.
I'm surprised you didn't get hurt.
Yeah, I think I pulled the thumb trying to change players. Baker, oh my God, Jordan Addison was suspended for 3 games. I don't know. I'm scrambling this week alone. I got. Let's see. Right now, Romeo Dobbs is questionable. Pacheco, who's done nothing all year, is questionable. I think I got to get Pacheco out of the lineup. He never does anything, even when he does play, and he doesn't play often. Godwin looks like he's actually going to play this week, so maybe I'll get him in the lineup somewhere. I don't know. Yeah, but there's a lot of top heavy. It's going to be an interesting playoff run. Let's see if Jeff can sneak in. Let me get that.
Well, right now, if the playoffs, when do the playoffs start?
I'll tell you right now. Playoffs start. I think it's week 15. Let's see. Hold on a second.
Because if the playoffs started today, I think I'm in the playoffs.
No, you're outside the playoffs. Top 4 teams.
Top 4. That's it.
Top 4 teams. So
okay.
Yeah, I believe. So right now it would be Iggy against Matt, Joe Fro against Catman would be the first round of the playoffs.
There's 2 weeks of playoffs, right?
There's 3 weeks. No, 2 weeks. You're right.
Yeah, because first and fourth, second and third.
Yep.
And then the winner of that goes for the championship round, and then for third place.
Correct. Yes. Absolutely. Yes. So yeah, you still have an outside chance. How about that? Hold on a second. Hold on. Playoffs. Is it top 6 teams? No, top 4 teams. So right now it would be Iggy Mo against Matt and Joe Fro against the Catman. Winner moves on. So that starts week 16 and week 17.
It was one thing to lose to Frank Catalano because his team is actually pretty good, but when you lose to a Dodd Trouton franchise such as yourself, that hurt, man. That was getting kicked in the teeth and the nuts.
Listen, that was my Super Bowl. That was it. That was my championship game. That was my Super Bowl this year. As long as I have to go through the whole off season listening, if you miss the playoffs by 1 game, I will celebrate that as my victory parade.
If I was you, I would do a show and just do nothing but douse myself in champagne.
I will drive by your house with toilet paper flying out the window to hold that for the entire day. If you miss the playoffs by 1 game.
So last night when we were supposed to play and then we couldn't make it, I was like, I'm going to go find somebody else to play hockey with. So I did. And it was impossible. I didn't even touch it. I ended up quitting the game in the middle of the second period because I couldn't get the ball. I couldn't get the puck. I just couldn't do nothing. And I was like, fuck this, I'm out.
Yeah, I got on late last night and I played a couple of games and it's not as I've played 21 and went through the season. I think I lost 1 game and scored 1,000 goals. And I'm obviously now in the middle of the season. I think I'm like 5-2 and I'm struggling to score goals. And It's definitely a lot tougher.
You got to switch some things around.
I did. I've been picking up guys. I took your advice. I found some guys in the minors and brought some guys
No,
up.
no, not that. That you can do too.
Switch your lines? What's that? Switch your
You got to
lines?
go. There's a page where you can end up switching the game around.
Oh, really?
Take some of the power away from the computer.
Oh,
Body checks, like when I check them,
yeah.
I put them in the hospital. Okay. But when they check me, they bounce off. Like I'm not even like it's nothing. I'm like, fuck them. The computer already has a big enough advantage. As much as I've rigged the computer so that I can make it that I can play, when the computer wants to hold on to the puck, there's nothing you can do.
It's the truth. You're 100% right. Iggy Mo's son is a professional. He does all that. He does a lot of basketball stuff. He does a lot of their checking of games for the basketball. But yeah, he's a professional gamer. It's a hell of a way to make a living. Boy, I gotta tell you, good for him.
How old is he?
I have no idea. I would say he's early 20s, maybe late teens. I'm not 100% sure. I've never met him. But it's a heck of a way to make a living. That's for sure.
So, I got a couple nephews too, Frank. No.
Well, next year I think we're going to expand the football league. I have a lot of fun playing. I do. I want to play more, and I have a lot of fun. You and I got to play a little ultimate team the other day. That was fun.
No, it wasn't.
It was a lot of fun.
No, it wasn't fun at all.
I'm just waiting for Frank Jeffrey to get off his ass and play the game this week. So I have to. I'm trying to hope to knock Frank off the schneid, give him a loss. But in the meantime, Frank's 8-0, 7-0, headed toward our 12-game league for another 5 weeks.
I hope Frankie goes into the playoffs undefeated. I hope Frank goes to the championship game undefeated. Then I hope he loses by 2 points. I want him to be so close. He's like tasting it, but he can't get it. And you know what that motherfucker did to me?
What did he do?
He's lucky I didn't know where he was. I think I would have gotten in the car and went to his house.
What happened?
Yeah, playing like he was bullshitting me. That's what he did. The game was 21-21 at halftime.
Okay.
He was going down right before half trying to score. There was like 17 seconds left. He burned all his timeouts.
Okay.
So now he's running back up to the line, and the clock just went from 17 to 0 in the blink of an eye. That even I was like, wow, what happened there? But that's okay. I got the advantage.
Right.
So, of course, I was throwing interceptions all game long, throwing interceptions, and he's capitalizing on them. So now he was up by 14. So then I score a touchdown.
Okay.
And the coach's suggestion said, go for 2.
Right.
So I go for 2.
Down 14 tells you to go for 2?
What?
You were down 14 and it told you to go for 2 after a touchdown?
Yes, because if I think it was 14. I was down by like 2 scores. And if I scored, like I would have had to score 2 more and get like an extra point and then 2 points, right? So he scores and he's like, oh, okay. He gets the ball back and then he scores again. Okay, but he's telling me that he's not trying to score, but he scores. Then the motherfucker goes for 2 points, this cocksucker. And it's like, what do you need? You're up by like 11 points with 35 seconds left. You got to go for 2 points. Oh, the computer picked that for me. Like, no.
He does say that all the time. Oh, I didn't pick that. The computer picked it for me.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like, you motherfucker. So I was just like, I was just happy that the game was over because
what are you going to do?
I lost. It is what it is.
It is what it is. But yeah, he does it all the time. Oh, I suck today. Oh, I'm not good today.
Well, I'll tell you right now, the other day, yeah, he did suck, man, because I was moving the ball with no problem. Well, I shouldn't say I was moving the ball with no problem. Mechie, you pick up, he 160 yards he had in the game.
I see that. I saw your stats, yeah.
And then he fucking robbed me a yardage and fuck that motherfucker. Let me guess, what was the fucking TV screen was moving? You couldn't see it? Too many excuses. I don't know who the fuck made him official scorer.
He's a character. He's a funny character. That's all I can say. We're looking forward to seeing him.
I'd like to get an independent auditor to figure out our fucking stats.
Well, you know what? Maybe I will do that because all the stats are on the thing. I'll have to just go back and kind of do an independent arbitration of the stats for the season. I can do that. I have some time, so maybe I'll do that. We'll see how it plays. Well, let's end it right here. I got some stuff to do before I get to go to bed. But it's been a lot of fun. I am around all day tomorrow. If anybody's around, I am around all day. In the meantime,
laundry and play Frankie Mule.
There you go. In the meantime, I hope everybody has a great week, and we wish you all here a great Thanksgiving. Jeff, I know you got your March of the Wooden Soldiers. You got your food.
Well, I got March of the Wooden Soldiers.
Yep.
I was telling somebody this today. March of the Wooden Soldiers, Westminster Dog Show.
Really?
Yeah. I watched that in between after
Cool,
March.
Happy Thanksgiving, Frankie.
See you later, man. And yes, man, I made it back. I don't back from where, I don't know, but I'm here. March of the Wooden Soldiers, Westminster Dog Show, Lions game, eat, then just comb her out for a little bit, then watch some of the Dallas game, not much, just a little bit because I don't like that game, and then eat again. And then then I'll go past my wife. I'll be like, "Oh, we got pie now?" Yeah, she'll probably be like, "You fat fuck, you just ate twice."
We gotta have pie. We need pie.
Yeah. Yes, we do, don't we?
Well, I hope it's a good one. I will definitely talk to you, maybe see you before. But in the meantime, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. I told you, Matt, you're welcome to come. I don't want to find out you're home by yourself. So I don't want to hear it. I will definitely call you before that. But in the meantime, we're going to end the show right there. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and being part of the show tonight. Thank you very much. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, a great weekend, and a great next week. And happy Thanksgiving to you all. And we'll talk to you and see you all back here in 2 weeks when Jeff and I get together and do it all over again. Hefe, I will definitely talk to you off the air.
You got it, bud.
All right, man. Have a good night. Good night, everybody.